Hey y'all, hey y'all. Listen, don't judge me, okay? It's been a time, y'all. I wanted to connect. I wanted to get online with my peoples without being so I need some connection right now. I need some love. I want to give some love. I want to receive some love, right? When times get tough and things get challenging, listen, we gotta feed ourselves. Let's put a one in the chat if you can hear me. Last couple lives I've been talking and I've been on mute. So if you can just hear me okay, put a one in the chat. Appreciate y'all. We got Louisiana in the building. Peace and blessings. So glad to see you. We got Double Speak Telecast 2.1 in the building. So glad to see you. Hoping all is well. I really, really do. We got Honey 69 in the building. Yes. Thank you so much for chiming in while you were at work. I appreciate you. I value people I connect with and people that, we just show each other love when we come across one another. I appreciate that. We got Phoenix Rising in the building. Oh, it's good to see you again. We've been rolling today, haven't we, Miss Phoenix? Yes, girl, listen. Is it real high? Okay, good day to you. Peace and blessings. Thank you for coming through. I may go off camera here and there. I'm kind of multitasking y'all a little bit, but there's a lot going on. And I really didn't have a specific topic. We could talk about anything. But there's a lot going on, and I just I had to stop. I literally had to stop. Yesterday, I was feeling like I was going to hurt somebody. I don't feel like that very often. I don't get that very often, but when I do and I recognize it, I was like, whoa, where is that coming from? That is not your spirit. You need to, let's pause. Let's just halt, right? Let's just go down the checklist. You're hungry, you're angry, you're lonely, you're tired. Once we answer those questions, we can figure out what we need, right? And I did that. And I feel released. I feel revitalized. And I want to share that. I want to share that. And I want to encourage people that I know. There is not a person I know that's not feeling it in some aspect. They're not, things ain't flowing. It's like one challenge after another, things you don't prepare for, things you don't anticipate, things that you don't think that you're ready for. But I want to encourage you. God has got you. God got me. God has us, no matter what it looks like. There's such an energy and a motivation for people to lose the grip of God and faith and a power higher than yourself. I can understand why. I get little moments of it. They don't last, but they creep in every now and again, and gotta tighten it up, right? Get back on task. But I want to encourage anybody within the sound of my voice to know that God got you. The biggest weapon, in my opinion, that the enemy has is to steal our peace and to disrupt our joy till we don't even find value in it anymore. That is not true. That is not true. You are supposed to enjoy and be grateful for every single moment that you are able to breathe on your own. I got a woman that I consider my sister. The only thing that separates us is blood. And if I told you how we met, you tell me to write a book. However, she called me. She's dealing with some health issues, and I feel so helpless, but she's strong. She's one of the strongest people I know. But she goes through something to the equivalent of chemotherapy every other week for her to be able to still walk. And we talked today, and she told me she went through an allergic. God bless. I know she listening. They don't know who you are, okay? But she went through, how to tell this, a moment where she couldn't breathe. She had an allergic reaction to some new medication, and it sent her into a tizzy. And while she was explaining it to me today and expressing it to me today, she was saying, "Sis, I couldn't breathe." She said, God knows now that that ain't the way I want to go, right? She said, nothing like not being able to breathe. And once we got off the phone, I couldn't really get my bearings. Not because I could have lost one of the closest people to me at that point in time, but also I equate that with life, because without breath, there is no life, right? We have to be grateful for that. She will probably never look at breathing the same, because she realized in that moment, or those moments, what it was like not to breathe. And if we don't breathe in life, and if we don't take time to celebrate where we're at, it's our joy and our peace will be stolen, right? So let me check in with the chat. Hey, y'all, we got Russell Red. Thank you for coming through. Respect, respect, respect. Madeline Johnson, we got in the building. Samaya, hey, Samaya. We got Strawberry 10. So again, y'all, I didn't really come. I just feel, I feel full. A lot has been going on, and I kind of need an outlet to connect and possibly release and exchange some good energy, to share what I do have with others. And I know I get shy sometimes, I get reserved, and I just said today, this is bigger than that, right? It's bigger than that. So I appreciate y'all being here. What I do want to do though is, if you're not at work, or if you have a moment, or you're feeling compelled, there is no pressure. I'm going to drop my link, and I would love for anybody that feels, if you feel like that even though you're hesitant, there's something you need to say or something you need to get off. I want to be able to provide that opportunity at this point, because I'm telling you, I feel like a lot lighter. And I appreciate y'all for being here. I really, really do. So listen, y'all know I'll get sidetracked. Hold on a minute. Keeper is in the building. Hey, boo. Yes, yes, yes. We got Bolo. Hey, babes. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for being here. If I missed anybody, you already know it, just because I can't see. Right? So, yes, indeed. So, anyway, I don't know. How's everybody's day going? Listen, I told you I ain't had no topic. We could talk about anything. That's what I'm kind of waiting on, to see if there's something pressing that somebody might need to discuss, or, or feel compelled to share with somebody. It could be anything. It don't matter. I ain't gonna bite. I promise. I promise I ain't gonna bite. Yes, you're chilling good, Bolo. That's awesome. I get satisfaction out of you resting. I really do. I'm so proud of you. I'm super proud of you. And it's definitely adding and being beneficial to you, because you are doing your thing. Shout out to my fellow content creators that put in the work, that do the grind, that, actually serve the purpose of what content creation is supposed to look like, in my opinion. Having something original to bring to the table, something authentic, something you're compassionate about. And yeah, shout out to all of them. So, to my mods, please feel free to drop links of content creators that are supported over here. Feel free. I have no worries and no, issues with that whatsoever. I encourage it. I have so many people that make up this support system that I have found myself in a new environment and community, and I'm extremely grateful for that. So anyway, yeah, so nobody want to hit the link. Okay. Well, what I was gonna do, since we're on the topic, I'm gonna be impromptu here, and there is a little video clip that I'm gonna share. Something. These are things that I look at or that I delve into when I need doses, which I really need them all the time, but I don't utilize it all the time. Doses of positivity, doses of good energy, doses of word magic. And when I say word magic, I mean just helping me be mindful that I need to shift or tweak my thinking in order to, get into the mindset that works for me. So bear with me for 1 second, y'all. Oh gosh. Of course, now that I'm on live, I'll forget where I saw it. But I'm going to find it. I'm going to find it. Just bear with me for a second, y'all. That is not what I had. I didn't have it queued up, but we're going to find it. I think I got it. Hold on. Yep.
First, what's
okay, share my screen. Oh, is StreamYard tripping? My Wi-Fi should be good. I don't know why this is. Y'all put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Okay, please.
Put down.
Okay, I think I got it.
And let their body relax, totally relax. And then person would sit down and let their body relax, totally relax. And then start to visualize in their mind, see themselves the way they want to see themselves.
Y'all, did anybody else find that powerful? Even if you knew it, even if you implement it, even if you exercise it every day, it to me, it's like when they say consider the source, it matters, right? And this is a person that spoke words because he lived it. You could tell he's believable because he can relate to it. It's something that he can identify with, if I'm making sense. I want to do that one more time because one thing that he's saying is that even if it seems like a lie at first, right? And that's what to me, that's what they classify as dreaming. When you are able to articulate something that you feel is unattainable or unreachable at that moment, if you give yourself enough time, consistency, and repetition in order to turn that line to the truth, it will flip. And that's what, and listen, to me, it sounds like basic, but It don't matter what it sounds like, it's super powerful. Let's just hear that one more time. And I apologize to those that may feel I'm repetitive, but listen anyway. Okay, there's a reason for me doing this.
First would sit down and let their body relax, totally relax, and then start to visualize in their mind, see themselves the way they want to see themselves. See how you'd like to live your life. See yourself living it that way. Now understand that that's a picture in your mind. Take that picture and describe it. Write it out in the present tense. I am so happy now that I see myself, and write it out. Start to read it and read it and read it and read it every day. Carry it around and keep reading it. The one point that all the great teachers all down through history have all agreed on, they've been in complete unanimous agreement on, we become what we think about. Now, maybe fantasy at first, it might even appear to us as being a lie. But if you read it often enough, you'll start to believe it.
Y'all, that's with anything. That's with anything. People aren't born bad. I don't believe that they are. What I do believe is that if you do something long enough, good, bad, or indifferent, that's what you're going to be classified as. Those are the characteristics and traits that you're going to adopt, that you're going to make a part of who you are because it's your daily routine, right? So I don't know. Let me see if there's anything else. Okay, so I will talk about, and I said I was going to do this. This is a perfect time. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I appreciate you. So I don't talk about health a lot. I've spoken on my recovery journey, but I've been trying to figure out a way, and I don't know if there is a way, but just to do it, because no days are guaranteed to us. And one thing that I love to do and that I get joy out of is when I learn something, I love to share it, right? So I don't know if people are in tune with Yaki Awakened by this time, because he's grown in popularity to the point where he didn't start out, being a consultant for the entertainment industry, but because he's super knowledgeable, gifted, and he seems super authentic. I've been following him for a long time. He's you can tell he's anointed. He's anointed. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's not allowing all of that other stuff. And if he is, then that's not what the people are receiving, right? But in my health wellness journey from breast cancer, I have changed my entire, like, how I do everything. I think it's like I try to keep a balance. It's not really, it'd be shaky sometimes, but overall, that's my goal, of just to keep a healthy balance in every aspect of my life. And I realized that my parents did what they could, what they knew, what they were taught. And I'm sure that they unlearned some things and relearned some things in their journeys that they shared with me and others, connected to them, or in their path of their journeys. But I just have to say that, it took what it took for me, but I'm so grateful because I'm here to actually talk about it. Most people that I know don't survive what I've been through. I know there are more survivors. I know that there are more people that are recovering from, the C word and all of that. However, everybody's capacity is different. Everybody's journey is different. And what I went through, I already know not will, but has taken out other people with what I've had to endure. So if all I got is wrinkles on my neck, I'm good with that. My hands are showing their age a little bit. I don't care about none of that. The fact that I'm in my right mind, and I can sit here and I can share what God has gifted me with and who he sent to gift me with. I will forever be grateful for that. I wouldn't care because somebody can relate to me, and I don't want to relate or at least be connected to everybody. I ain't made for everybody. I ain't made. Sometimes I wonder if I'm made for myself, but obviously I am. But I'm just saying I ain't made for everybody. But this is. He was when we were talking about breathing at the beginning of the stream. I see how this. I hear you. This is how it's connecting. He is actually giving some breathing techniques on how to improve our quality of breath. Now, I think all of us know to have a very intelligent family. All of us know that breathing affects everything in our body. It affects the quality of our oxygen. Why do you think that, you know, the 1% of the 1% is controlling everything that we breathe in, everything that we take in, from air to water to food, from the ground, from the soil? That is the root, that is the foundation of life, of everything that develops from that. That is the original foundation and source of where everything else derives from, is the soil. Look at all of the different particles and all of the different textures like plastic, metal, different titanium. We've got, the combustion of stone into diamonds. I mean, just the list can go on and on and on. But all I'm saying is that, okay, so God gives us everything that we need from the earth. Breathing is the basis of life. It affects everything around us. It is the first point of contact. It comes through our skin, it goes through our mouth, our nose, our ears, any opening canal in our body. Without further ado, because I can go on and on and on. I want to go ahead and hold on, y'all. Let me get my life together and show this.
You have many different.
Okay, hold on. Now I gotta share it.
Ways of meditation. I would say the easiest way of meditation, because a lot of people say I couldn't clear the chatter. So the whole thing is, don't worry about clearing the chatter. Sit down, align your spinal cord, and focus on your breath. So you sit up upright and you do diaphragmatic breathings. Like I was talking about before, the lungs act as the wings, but the wings are pushed out into your diaphragmatic muscles. So you breathe in. When you breathe in through the nasal passage, your stomach's supposed to expand. So you hold it for 3 seconds, then you're gonna release. When you release, you're gonna release for 9 seconds. When you're releasing, your stomach, your belly button damn near supposed to be touching your spinal cord. So when you're doing it, you're gonna do it in a rhythmatic frequency, but you're gonna focus on the breath. When you start focusing on the breath, if you do it long enough, you'll start to hear your heartbeat. You'll be able to hear it. And then that's what you're keying in on. So true meditation is just becoming in the present now. Because when you draw your consciousness into the present now, this is where magical things happen in that. Because now you're not stuck worrying about the past, nor you're not planning or preparing for the future. You're stuck in the moments, and the moments are eternity. And the only way you can tap into that eternity is by focusing on something. So don't worry about the chatter, just focus on your breath. Diaphragmatic breathing is one of the greatest forms of meditation.
Y'all, listen, that blessed me. Even though in my mid 50s, I played a reeded instrument. I actually graduated from college playing instrument as one of my majors. And I played a reeded instrument with clarinet. And so you got to deal with the embouchure, you got to deal with the mouth muscles, you got to deal with the reed strings. It's a wooden instrument. I know they make them out of plastic, but when you start dealing on a professional level or even a college level, you're encouraged to get a B12, a wooden one, right? There's so many things to consider, but none of them work and none of them do their jobs and what they're designated to do without the correct breath. with that is it is a separate component of our being. It's all by itself. It's all isolated. It don't need no help, because without that, nothing else works. So he said, don't worry about the chatter. In this time of information, I really feel like that goes with the territory. And I get him when he says, and I appreciate him saying that, because when you start dealing with the antiquated suggestions of, oh, just take the chatter out, just take the chatter out. You're not saying that in 2024. You might have said that back in the 1960s to the early 1990s, but in 2024, everybody's got chatter. Even if you just dispel it for a moment, there's still 24 hours in a day, and for majority of that day, that chat's still gonna be popping off. It's still gonna make its way, because that is the culture and the environment. And I have never in life seen so many distractions or directions where distractions could come from. The TV was the very first thing where even though I couldn't understand it at that time, because when I was born, we were just coming out of black and white. The TV cut off at 12 o'clock until 6 o'clock the next morning. They played the Star Spangled Banner, had the American flag on, and then the TV went black until 6 o'clock when the news came on. And so now I've got several screens in front of me. My son told his girlfriend, he said, he look like my mama, she work at IT. It's like, he's right. So there is going to be chatter, but that breath, that foundation, nothing moves without the breath. It is the quality of breath. I want to play this again because it took me 4 or 5 times. I don't know about nobody else, but it took me 4 or 5 times for me to get everything that he was saying, because every word was a gem in my opinion. And even if there was some things I was aware of or that I didn't know, he's teaching me from his age, his gift, his experience, his investment into learning everything he can to share with his people and to give him and the people connected to him quality of life. He's going to share with everybody else. All right, y'all. Let's do it again. Salute to my chat. I appreciate y'all. Hey, Biz. We got Miss Collins in the building. This girl. We got Tajaga. Hey, Tajaga. We got Kevin Ellis. Oh, y'all bring such a smile to my face. All the people's up in the place, okay? We got Monique Hill in the building. Oh, my goodness. If I miss you, Dimple D is in the house. Thank y'all for being here. Missy B. Yes, always. That's what I call you, because the rest of that name is just too long. And you know, the way my ADHD is set up, I ain't gonna get past Missy B, but I know you know who I'm talking about. Okay, anybody else that I miss? Much love. I'm here reciprocating love, and I'm getting it as I'm giving it. So I feel it. I appreciate y'all more than you know. I promise you. Oh my goodness. Yes. And my breathing is improving. Okay, so let's go. I want you to hear this, y'all. Y'all, I apologize. I don't know if it's StreamYard or it's my Wi-Fi, but be patient with me. We're gonna get it off. All right, let's refresh. Can we refresh?
You have many different ways. Of meditation. I would say the easiest way of meditation, because a lot of people say I couldn't clear the chatter. So the whole thing is, don't worry about clearing the chatter. Sit down, align your spinal cord, and focus on your breath. So you sit up upright and you do diaphragmatic breathings. As I was talking about before, the lungs act as the wings, but the wings are pushed out due to your diaphragmatic muscles. So you breathe in. When you breathe in through the nasal passage, your stomach's supposed to expand. So
that was one of the things that they taught me when I was in college playing instruments, wooded instruments. And I thought it was the weirdest thing, because Well, actually, it was cemented then. It was actually taught to me from a music teacher I had in my senior year of high school. But for some reason, my college professor actually, the way that he broke it down, that was the only way I was going to get. Nobody else could. Always, when you took a deep breath, you sucked your stomach in. That's all anybody I ever knew around me. But it was totally the opposite. And if you think about it, if you decrease the depth of your diaphragm, nothing can get in. If you expand it, you release it, but then you allow the new breath to come in and maximize. But see, we don't think about breathing. We think about paying bills. We think about how we look. We think about we have to concentrate on driving if we're in a vehicle or we're in public in a store, checking 3, 9, 6, and 12 the whole time you're in there looking for behaviors just to make sure that you make it home safely, right? But what he's saying is that, and I know I'm excited, but I'm excited because to me, this is a slice of freedom. If you can get the breath right, if you can focus on the breath, life will take care of itself. Everything ain't meant and designed for us to do on our own. Through our limited capacity, we're not set up for that. I convinced myself when I was young I could do everything, but now that I am at the age that I am, guess what? Life told me totally different. And even if it was the case back then, it's not the case now. So I definitely find value and a whole different perspective on just something as simple as breathing, recognizing and keeping in tune that I'm breathing. And without breath, there is no life. And I mean that on every level, including the carnal level. Okay, y'all.
You hold it for 3 seconds, then you're gonna release. When you release, you're gonna release for 9 seconds. And when you're releasing, your stomach, your belly button damn near supposed to be touching your spinal cord. So when you're doing it, you're gonna do it in a rhythmatic frequency, but you're gonna focus on the breath. When you start focusing on the breath, if you do it long enough, you'll start to hear your heartbeat. You'll be able to hear it. And then that's what you're keying in on. So
Diaphragmatic breathing is a form of meditation. I was raised in a couple of different faiths, and it confused me for a long time. I was like, because if you delve into any faith long enough, they're going to end. Well, most of them that I've experienced, all of them, have given the belief system or tried to, submit that their religion is either the most God approved or their religion is better than somebody else's religion. That religion has more credence than their fellow religion. And so when you are kind of trying to find your way and open to delving into other faiths to have something to compare it to, I'm sitting back and I'm like, wow, I'm a little confused, right? Until I started getting into thyself. In a lot of religions, in a lot of faiths, you are taught to, and I'm not saying that you don't put God first, but you understand the entity and the power of God that works through us. So that's why I don't totally denounce men that, and I say that, men that walk around and they say it. Well, I won't say that I agree with them saying that they're God, but some of them you can definitely Lost. I just got a brain fart, y'all. You with them, you understand that it's not. They don't think that they are God. It's just that their relationship or their identity with God is so strong that you know it's from God. I don't know if that made no sense, but that I just wanted to say that. And so, with that being said, chew the meat and spit out the bones. If it don't apply for you, let it, if it don't apply, let it fly, all of that good stuff, right? But what I'm saying is that what I get from that is when he speaks on meditation, like, what were you taught? Were you taught that meditation was a good thing? Was you taught that witchcraft was a bad thing? Were you taught that that Jesus existed or that he is real, and you identify and you feel and you believe in Jesus, or you don't believe in God at all? But there is always one commonality in that. There is always going to be a power higher than ourselves in this form, right? And I'm done with that. So listen, y'all. Oh my goodness. So I don't know if you've been waiting a long time. I apologize. You on mute, Complex Design. How you doing?
Hey, what's that? Hey, Miss Kimmy, how you doing? No, I was just sitting back here chilling. I decided to I'm working on a Tesla, and it's frustrating me. So I just don't want to look at it right now. So I just figured I'd come up and talk to you.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I was going to ask you how your day was going, but you done kind of gave me a little bit of an
Yeah,
inclination.
I'll get back to that later.
Well, talk to me about
You're talking about something way more interesting than this crap right now.
well, good. I'm glad. I had no idea what I was going to bring to the live, but I did feel spirit led. Absolutely. So I believe in being obedient, because whenever I'm not, it don't work out so good.
Yeah, I'm kind of doing the same thing. I've learned that once I kind of keep smacking my head against the wall for a while, just walk away from it and then come back to it later. So that's my plan for the time being. You had mentioned playing the instrument in terms of like breath control. I think that was kind of where you kind of caught my attention on that. My daughter just played at her band orchestra, like the concert thing yesterday, and so she was explaining the same thing to me maybe like about 3 weeks ago, how you have to basically channel the air right within your diaphragm and what have you, to consistently have a source of air to blow through the clarinet while you take breaths. It's a whole different way of breathing, right? And it is very much based on meditative principles. There's a lot of there's a lot of depth to that right there. If people care to really look into that, because it validates it. It's basically like instrument playing. What they call wind instruments, the trumpets and saxophones and flutes and all that. So there is like a correlation between the breathing that's required and then the frequency of the actual instrument itself and that it puts out. Like the whole basis of that science is called cymatics. For those of you guys that are interested, it's called cymatics, right? That's where you learn about the effect of like things like bells and stain. Old world science.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Oh, go ahead. I think we might have a delay. You cut out for a second.
Can you? Okay, wait. I had a call coming in. I'm sorry.
Very good.
So it's it's a whole different old world science. I'm into I'm a type of dude. I do mechanical, electrical engineering, all that kind of stuff. So I've always been curious about how people did things in the old world, right? And what I've found is say that again.
And play an old instrument. You'll know how they did things, or at least some of the things in the old world.
Oh, that's just some of it, because I would say that the technology and the sciences of that time, of the I guess you could say just the old paradigm, were I don't want to say more. Well, it's subjective, right? Was it more advanced? I would say yes, because
Mhm.
it had a greater effect, and it was, I don't want to say simpler to understand, but the way we do things today, we do a lot of deconstructionist type of education. So instead of taking whole ideas, what they do is they take a whole idea and they break it down into a bunch of stuff, and then they take those pieces that they broke down and then they subsection it even more, and then they leave out they leave out a bunch of stuff, right? So
They
the
make it
best
easy
way
for
to
you
learn.
to lose your way. They make it easy.
Hmm.
They've complicated things so much to where everything is a distraction. There are times I'm on
Yeah.
the computer and I'll have it's one of the best things, but one of the worst things I've ever had to do is get a dual monitor. So I got two monitors in front of me. When I tell you I'm still adjusting, and I've had them probably a good year and a half, maybe two
Uh,
years. But I'm still,
you
because
know,
I'm not accustomed to everything grabbing my attention at the same time. And one thing that I can say about being an instrumentalist is that you can't be good at what you do with distractions. You are going to
not at all.
have to super concentrate and block. And like you said, it's a form of meditation. I thought that was beautiful, and I've
Hmm.
never heard it put that way, but I totally, totally agree with that, because
Hmm.
you only have the allotment to be able to communicate, to zone in to two things, and that's the music and you, even though that
Hmm.
in itself is complexity, because like you said, you got to deal with the breathing, you have to deal with the embouchure if you're dealing with wind instruments, whether they're reeded or non-reeded. You have to deal
Hmm.
with the posture, you have to deal with reading the music, getting the cadence right. If you have an instructor with a baton
With the
that's
baton,
conducting
yes.
a 64-piece symphony,
Hmm.
I'm telling you, it is wild. And I came from I would say a middle to lower class neighborhood upbringing. I was part of the public school system, but when they started having magnet and charter schools, my dad was like, nope, she's going. And I'm so grateful for that. But I'm just saying, it was like going from that to college, and you live, eat, breathe, poop, music. No
Hmm.
relationships, no. Every now and then, I would get with a couple of two of my homegirls, my roommate, and then one of my other classmates. She was a year ahead of me, actually, and we would only we were the three amigos. We would go somewhere, but we were all three musicians, so we all
Hmm.
had the same demands, the same type of schedule, the same sacrifice required, all of that. Outside of that, it was music. It was music. I struggled
Yeah.
in every other subject, but you're right. It's a whole. That's a whole nother conversation, y'all. I'm sorry if I'm losing y'all. I'm sorry if you're not
No,
interested.
we're good, because it was just that you had brought up clarinet. You brought up clarinet. I was like, my daughter plays clarinet, and she literally was
Oh,
just at a concert last night. So it was like, and she was explaining all this to me, and I like when my child can literally explain some.
you cutting out. So
Yeah, I'm sorry.
y'all,
Can you hear me? Okay.
yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Hold on. Okay, wait. Am I there?
Yes. Can you
Okay. All
hear
right.
us?
Sorry.
You
This. Yeah. It's calls keep coming in, and it's business stuff. But
yeah, you're
I'm
working.
just like, yeah. Yeah.
Understood.
But like I said, I'm right about now. I'm on break. Screw all this. So, one of the benefits of doing your own thing is you can kind of do this if you need to. Just say, I'll call you back. But no, it was just something that I learned through her, and it kind of maybe just further corroborated things that I've learned. Like I've gone through various schools of study, let's just say, throughout my 47 years. I had quite the interesting book catalog, book like little library, some years back before I gave them all away. You know, and to kind of see my daughter sort of understand these different principles, and not understand it to say like the depth of like what's this, Yaki Awakening? I think that's who you were playing. That's who that was. Yeah.
Mhm.
So she, unbeknownst to her, she's literally saying the same thing he was saying.
Mhm. Well, if she's playing the same instrument I'm playing, that lets you know that there are a few generations that have transpired and we're being
Yeah.
taught the same exact techniques. So
Yeah.
that tells you
Exactly. Exactly.
old school that really goes, and it's a whole way of life for many people
Yeah.
that is passed on by generation to generation to generation. So I think I was a one-off though, because there's a lot of singing and a lot of musical talent in my family, but as far as being
Hmm.
instrumentalists, yeah, that we don't have a whole lot of those in the family that I'm connected with or that I know. So,
Hmm.
but it is definitely, but we were talking about the breathing, right? So when you
Yeah.
start speaking on the breathing techniques and how I was taught growing up before I really started getting into the music and started applying and investing into it, like outside of high school, right? Even though I've been playing it my whole life, that was one thing I was grateful for. My father was that he put an instrument in my hand when I was 5 years old, and he said, "Learn how to play it." So I was like, "Well, I don't
Hmm.
have a teacher," but no, you're going to teach yourself how to play it. And
Oh wow.
I never forgot it. I learned how to read music. I learned okay, a little fun fact, y'all. I'm feeling a little transparent here, but I believe it's gonna bless somebody. So my dad gave me a flute when I was I want to say I was probably about 9. So I wasn't hadn't reached my double digits yet, but I would say maybe fourth grade, third grade, if I'm pushing it a little bit. He put a flute in my hand. He said, "Learn to play it." All of my other friends and stuff, they would go outside, they would play. I would hear them outside the windows because I lived in a place where we just kept the windows cracked. We didn't need air conditioning, but a couple of months out of the year, right? Oh,
Mhm.
hear them outside, be racing up and down the street, climbing in our trees. You hear balls bouncing, people racing up and down to the stoplight, interacting, doing hide and seek. I mean, and I'd be in there and I'm like playing an instrument. And I felt like I was being punished for at least 4 or 5
Hmm.
years. But my dad he was not relenting. So I said, okay, at least if I'm gonna play an instrument, it's gonna be one I pick because I'm a little rebellious, right? In spirit.
Hmm.
So he gives me the option. So sixth grade hits. The summer before sixth grade, I had heard this piece on the radio, and it was jazz. I love jazz, right? So it was a clarinet piece that was playing a jazz tune, and I was mesmerized. And I went to my dad. I said, "Look," I said, "I want a clarinet." And I had done my research in the fifth grade, sixth grade, and I said, but no, it was the fifth grade, the summer before sixth grade. And I said, I'd done my research, and I said, don't want no plastic clarinet. I want a B12 wooden clarinet because I'm gonna be the best, and I'm gonna get first chair before the end of the year in sixth grade. Never played it. I went all of this off of hearing it. He bought me a clarinet. Actually, he bought me a plastic one, but he upgraded very shortly thereafter.
Hmm.
But he got me what he could afford at the time, and I fell in love with it. By December, I was first chair clarinet off of an instrument I've been playing for 6 months?
Wow.
6 months. How much I loved it. That's all I did, day in and day out. I learned. But by the time that I played the flute, I had learned how to start reading music.
Hmm.
And
I think that's the most important thing right there is to learn how to read it, right? Because once your ears are trained to the tonality of the instrument, it then becomes note reading, right? Because my daughter actually started with the trombone, but it was too big for her. She complained about it being too big, right? Like she was like, God, I got to do it.
Right. When they're made right and they're not using alternative particles on it to me, that's
They're heavy. It's
yeah.
heavy. Yeah.
Mm.
So she switched from trombone to clarinet, and it was an easy transition for her.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually pretty easy for her to transition.
The lip muscles, the breathing,
Mm-hmm.
it requires And
Yes,
actually, the trombone requires more disciplined breathing than the clarinet. But
it
listen,
does.
we could go down this rabbit hole, but if I go down any further, I'm not gonna come back.
I'm
And I
sorry.
know some of my no, we good. And I appreciate we're gonna have to do more of these.
Okay.
Definitely. Because that's definitely, I kind of I want when I got online today, I was like, it's about life, it's about perspective, it's about what do we think, how do we feel, how are we dealing with adversity, how are we dealing with the pressure of everyday issues that come at
Hmm.
us expectedly as well as unexpectedly. What examples are we setting for our children, what examples are we setting for those that are looking at us, and you never know who's looking at you
Look
or
at
who's
you. Yeah.
anticipating on, you know what I'm saying? So but
Mhm.
I wanted to bring the scientific quote unquote perspective too, because life, it starts physically and carnally with the breath, right? And but it's so symbolic
Mhm.
and so powerful. And there's different ways of doing it that could be effective for different groups of people, how your DNA makeup is, your culture,
Mhm.
what's in your blood. What moves you, what motivates you. And I just thought that Yaki Awaken always brings such a solidified scientific perspective, but he sends it in a fashion where you understand it. It's like he
Well,
relates to
yeah.
everybody.
Well, I was gonna say, I think given because I'm familiar with him.
Mhm.
There's a few things that I've actually been following, especially when it comes to like dietary stuff. I'm getting older, and like incorporating a lot more like fruits. That he's big on that, right? And
Yes.
given that I literally have like fruit trees and all this kind of stuff, I should consume a lot more of it than I do. So these are like even things that I take away from what he has to say. But given that, and just sort of like for anybody listening, what I always do is if a person makes their living, you know, putting out what they do in terms of if it's information, whether it's a service or a product or something like that, and it leads to a positive outcome, you should kind of keep tabs on people like that always.
Mhm. I agree. I totally
Yeah.
agree. But I'm grateful for social media in that aspect. It exposes us to entities and to good and bad. But I'm just saying, for that, I am grateful, because otherwise, I will probably never cross paths with many of the people that I have the opportunity to take advantage of being in the presence, whether it's live or on a replay on social media or on YouTube. I would say per se, because I really don't do momentum in other social media platforms. I've been there and I've done all of that. And right now I have to like zoom in on one thing, one thing at a
Yeah.
time. But yep.
This stuff
So
can get hectic.
haven't looked at my chat, and I gotta show my chat some love. I appreciate y'all.
You
Thank
got
you
it. Go
so.
ahead.
Yes, I appreciate. We got Miss Ann in the building. We got beautiful one in the house. I don't know how far back to go. Lord have mercy. We got 86K in the building. Oh, it's so good to see you, 86K. I love all y'all. We got Teron the Black, Strawberry Shortcake. We got I've already listen, those that I've acknowledged, if I acknowledge you twice, I apologize. We got Corporal Cutting Edge. Well, you changed your name. You need to change your name back. That's too much to type. And I don't be on my desktop all the time. Actually, I like it, but it just inconveniences me when I go to type it. That's all when I respond. But I'm so glad you're here. We got peace and blessings to Miss Sassy in the house. It is so good to see you, Miss Ann. I have missed your presence in the chat. I really have. I appreciate y'all. I also want to take an opportunity to thank this beautiful one for blessing me through the Cash App. You are always so appreciated,
Yeah.
and I
Shout out to
love,
her. Yeah.
yeah, I love her spirit and her veracity when it comes to doing what's right, and not being afraid and to speak on the things that people get silent, about. It's just I'm grateful for like-minded people. I have my way of expressing myself, but I totally appreciate those around me that expresses themselves in the way that they see fit, and I have much respect for those
Isn't that
that do.
law of attraction thing, right?
Yeah, and we
Isn't that
Virgo.
the
Virgo, so that really that told me a lot of what I needed to know because
you
I
say
know how.
you guys are Virgos, both of you?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I had a friend do my chart just out of curiosity because she asked, and I said
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea, but here's my birth date and here's where I was born, right? So she comes back and tells me, "Oh, okay, I'm a Leo." So so it was, but everything else was Virgo, oddly enough. She goes, "Oh, that totally makes sense given the type of person you are." And I didn't know whether that I should be proud or offended. I wasn't 100% sure, but I just said, "Okay."
I don't know either because it depends on the messenger on how you could receive it.
It's completely subjective, right?
You would know that better than I know it. So definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
that's the scary part. That's definitely the scary part right there. You let me tell it. It's all bad. But anyway,
Yep.
but that's just
Absolutely.
me. I'm not putting that on you or beautiful one or anything. I'm just saying.
No, we
Yeah.
don't take it no type of way. And I think I can speak for beautiful ones that we are all individuals. And look, I'm real good on if it don't apply, let that bad boy
Let
fly.
it
That ain't
fly.
got
There you
nothing to
go.
do with
There you go.
me. It ain't don't apply to me. I got enough going on in my real life to be trying to figure out something imaginary because that's not me, But
Well,
moving
oddly
on.
enough, she said that about me having that Virgo placement because she said I don't come off as a typical Leo, and I said, okay. That's why I'm like, you know what? It's up in the air at this point. I don't know.
Yep, it is. It's all good though. It's all good. Well, when you got to go back to work, 'cause you've been up here.
No,
Listen,
let me tell you something. I'm gonna go ahead. I'll go ahead and drop off. I'm just gonna stare at this thing probably for another 2 hours or something. I'll probably get back to it after I pick my daughter up from school. No, seriously,
yeah. Well, I
I got other
appreciate you
stuff to do.
coming. Yeah, no, and listen, it's wonderful when you can multitask, and I don't know how to operate without multitasking. I just don't. I don't.
Well, I'm
I've
on a
gotten so
phone and I have headphones in, so I could talk to you and move around and do. We can walk and chew gum.
you're
You know,
mobile. You're mobile. I get you. I get you. Well,
yeah.
respectfully, I love you, but I'm not gonna be on live for another 2 hours.
You all good? Cause no, you all good. You all good. I was just coming up just to cut the monotony because I was tired of dealing with that.
Well, I'm so glad you did. Now, what grade is your daughter in, real quick?
7th grade.
Okay, so see, she was
Yeah.
around the same age I was when I picked it up, and she will let you
Yeah.
know, and be open to if she is, because to me, it is normal for us to be curious to try to explore other things and other avenues. So if your daughter, I know it's an expensive endeavor, especially for parents of children
Yeah.
that support dreams and make the provision and all of that. But if she wants to delve into something else and she seems pretty sure, or she at least gives you an explanation as to why, she's investigated, she's researched it, support her in that. Because had I stayed with the flute, I probably wouldn't have played as long as I did. When I switched to the clarinet, I knew when I heard the sound, but it was solidified when I taught myself how to play it. And then the fact when I became first chair in what 6 months, I couldn't believe it. But it wasn't just because of my ability and my discipline, it was really because I enjoyed it. So it didn't make it seem like work when I practiced 4 or 5 hours a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I don't have to tell her to practice. Yeah, I don't have to tell her to practice. She just does, whatever I guess, and this may be just for anybody else or just for the sake of this little portion of the conversation before I break out of here. I would always say, like, pay attention to what it is that your children just like to do if, like, literally no one told them to do it.
Yeah.
Right? Those are like their natural inclinations that are going to sort of harness let's just say, advanced skill sets within them when they gravitate towards something and no one told them to do it. Like, if you have a son and he just, for whatever reason, no one told him to do it, he just goes and picks up tools and tries to stick the Phillips head into a screw and take things apart, get him into a STEM program.
Part.
Like that's the easiest way to, it's the easy way. Just kind of go with their natural inclinations. All right, Mr. Kimmy, I'm gonna let you go.
I appreciate you, Complex Design. Thank you. I really enjoyed our chat and our conversation, and I hope that those that are listening also find value in it, even if it's not about the instrument or the art of playing an instrument. You can apply that to any aspect of life. But I hope the rest of your day goes by smoothly and you be blessed. Thank you so much.
We'll see, because I'm really just frustrated by this thing, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, today is fleeting. These days are shorter, so you know what?
I'll figure it out.
I know,
I'll
but
figure
I'm
it
gonna
out.
say, I'm gonna let you go. One of the things that, I think it was you. I heard it said today that when you and I'm paraphrasing that, when you find what you need, you give yourself what you need. If you need to take a break from social media, you'll do that. If you need to, if you need to take a day off from work or a vacation or whatever, then you do that.
Do it, yeah.
Pay attention to what it is that you need and give that. For me, it's naps. Okay. I found such a pleasure and I used to not be able to take like a 30 or 45 minute nap. Now, I'll go so hard every day, all day. As soon as I don't care where I'm at. That's why I don't lay my head down unless it's in my house, right? As soon as I lay my head down, it's a wrap. I make it count. I'm not gonna lay my head down unless I know I'm gonna utilize and get that REM sleep. You know what I mean? And so where like going for a joyride or going getting ice cream or going and catching a movie or going driving, whatever that looks like for whoever is entertaining that thought. For me, it's a nap. And so that's why I say with Bolo, God bless Bolo's spirit and his soul, that he is finding value in his rest because he's investing in himself. And with that, I digress. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming up.
All right. You guys have a good weekend, okay?
Okay, you too. Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Right, bye-bye. Y'all, I'm sorry. Y'all already know I can't do the chat. I want to engage because it looks like it's popping, right? But, I don't never have to struggle for something to say. Lord have mercy. I appreciate y'all. I really, really do. Yes. Oh, thank you, Ann. I just saw your message or your comment. I appreciate you. Thank you. Listen, y'all, I didn't, I don't know. I'm not going to make this, too belabored and too long. This ain't about that for me. It really ain't. Once I feel like I have done what I was compelled or motivated or moved to do, then I move on with my day. Because Lord knows, I got people depending on me and I got things to do and places to go and other stuff, even though I know honey, let me tell you, I done learned how to multitask and do this moderating thing on YouTube. I don't put myself in jeopardy. I don't put myself at risk because I'm too valuable and all of that. But I'm just saying, outside of that, I have a real life. And as much as I love y'all, you know what? When you overstay your welcome, you lose value. And I try not to ever overstay my welcome. As soon as I feel like I'm starting to lose somebody's interest, take me a few steps back, right, baby? I'm gonna let you miss me for a while, and if you don't, then you wasn't meant for me no way, right? Cheers drop, y'all. Okay, yeah, no, I'm out, y'all. I love y'all. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll probably see you in another chat here in sometime soon. There's a couple things I got to do. So much love to my chat. If I've missed you, mentioning your name, listen, y'all. If you haven't become a member, consider doing so. I don't know if any of my mods have ability to go ahead and put the membership link in the chat before I go ahead and sign on out. I definitely am really focused on giving more content, coming more consistently, more regularly. And I loved how the flow of today went. And I will say this was my first experience of actually being impromptu, right? Just not really having anything planned, just pushing a live button and hoping for the best. And I love the outcome and the energy. I love how the flow of conversation went. I had no idea, and I thought it was beautiful. I really did. I'm grateful. So I will be doing more of these. And I will say that if these things go in the direction I think they may go in, they're going to be on members. Some of them will be on members only. I'm just giving that preface. So with that being said, y'all, yes, indeed. If you haven't become a member, consider doing so. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, consider doing that too. Turn on your all notifications bell. If you're not getting notifications, unsubscribe and resubscribe. I noticed that works for me. And that's all I got, y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for giving me the most valuable and priceless resource you have, an ability, and that's your time. And you chose to spend some of it with me, whether it was 1 minute, 5 minutes, or the entire time. I appreciate it all the same because that's what you were able to afford to give. I love y'all, right? Everybody be blessed. I'm out, and peace.